Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with Toonami's ratings from September 26, 2020. Let's start with the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have Dragon Ball Super at a 0.22, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure at a 0.21, Assassination Classroom at a 0.20, Black Clover at a 0.17, Fire Force at a 0.15, Naruto Shippuden at a 0.15, and Samurai Jack at a 0.11. Overall, this was a notable decrease from the last week. However, at the same time, last week was something special. It was a very great week last week, so it was almost certain to fall. The question was how much, and although virtually everything dropped at least 5/100ths of a point, I will still say the numbers right now are in a pretty decent, pretty good position. Like a kind of a barometer I use, and I think I use right now for the time being for considering how well week did is just the mean number, just the total number of shows that got at least a 0.20. If you only had one, read Dragon Ball Super, had a 0.2. Not a good week. It's actually a bad week. If you got two, which would usually be Dragon Ball Super, and then how things are now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it was an okay week. And if at least three shows do, like Assassination Classroom has done the last like 2-3 weeks, then it was a great week. And well, we have exactly three shows at a 0.2 or above right now. And so it's a good week. And definitely the top of the block. The top of the block, what it did well this week is that it retained well. Like you have between Dragon Ball Super and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it only lost 1/100th of a point. And then when you go to Assassination Classroom, that's another 1/100th of a point. So you only dropped 2/100ths from the first show to the third show. Considering how, especially when Dragon Ball Super was airing new episodes, how we would have struggle to find a show to put right behind it because of how poor the retention was. You remember, like I said, the infamous fall of 2018, when Toonami is probably at its worst ever point in terms of consistent ratings. Not even just like, oh, 1 week was bad. Generally, the entire fall of 2018 was pretty ugly. This was back when they had the 7-hour block. And I remember they would have Dragon Ball Super, and for a weird brief period afterwards, they would have Fully Cooley Alternative, which, although Fully Cooley Alternative I thought was okay, it was definitely not the type of show to follow up Dragon Ball Super. It would drop like half. It would go from like a 0.24 to like a 0.12 often, and the rest of the block after that would just drop even further. Like it would consistently have like the back end of the block at like a 0.06, 0.07. It was a really ugly time for Toonami, and Toonami has improved since then. And like this week again, pretty decent week. Got a 0.22 to 0.21 to 0.20, and then even after that, Black Clover only dropping 3/100ths from there, which 3/100ths is kind of a notable drop, but Black Clover had a 0.17. That's a good number for it. I think anything 0.16 or higher for Black Clover is pretty decent. And Fire Force, really, when you get past that, when you get to like the rerun part of the block, honestly, all bets are off to a degree. We're still rerunning season 1 of Fire Force right now, so who knows how high it really get, and if it really drops further, I wouldn't blame it, because again, people are just sitting waiting for season 2, which is supposed to, I believe, come late in October. I remember. I don't know if they've changed the date because of how we still really don't have a consistent dubbing schedule now. I think they announced like Toonami's going to start airing it October 24th. And I know for sure they at least made the first 2 episodes they dubbed that. I don't know how many episodes past that they've gone. And honestly, if they're like 7, 8 episodes further down, then they're probably in good position. But if they're only like 3 or 4 episodes made, it might get a little dicey come the end of the year with regards to that. And then Shippuden, it's always going to be here. It's going to be here until 2020, the end of 2024. I think someone like a little while back, like literally mapped out, assuming like expected marathons in when it will end. And I think they came up with like December 7th, 2024 or something, which that's still more than 4 years away. That's geez. And I think we just recently passed episode 300. So it's like 200 more. And then you have Samurai Jack, which I think they're near the end of season 5 finally, you know, at the end of the block. And again, it's on at 3 o'clock. You can't really have that high expectations for it. But again, all things considered, pretty decent numbers. Not as great as Neck last week, so nowhere historic. It is a big drop though. It is a big drop. And if you're looking at it from that perspective, maybe it's a little troublesome that it didn't keep up the momentum it had. But again, I'll take it. You know, if you told me, hey, it was going to have a big drop from last week and I see these numbers, I'll take it. These aren't bad. These are actually pretty good. So what do you guys think? What's your opinions on the block right now? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. I love reading them. If you like this content, if you want more Toonami news content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I am Super Orange Cat, and that is all.